Hey guys, Noble Skeeledon here. We're going to be reviewing patch notes 4.19 Departure to the Afterlife. Not going to focus on God, like skins. Ooh, that is a sick skin though. Edgelord. But we will be touching along balance changes and I guess bug fixes too. So, last patch, lifesteal was removed from this item. Good change, I guess. Makes it more clear. Morgan's buggy as shit. Especially if you paid attention to SPL, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. You would have seen what happened to Yaman. This god just needs fixed as much as possible. So, Armored Cloak. Armored Cloak and Hide of Urchin have dominated players' build in recent patches. Armored Cloak provided a high amount of protections and health for a tier 2 item, while Hide of the Urchin was nearly cost efficient with little to no stacks. We are reducing the base stats on both these items, making it necessary to gain multiple stacks before becoming gold efficient. They decrease the physical protections and magic protections from 30 to 25. On tier 2 item, that doesn't matter too much. Tier 3, it looks like they also decreased it by 5 and then they increased gold by 100. The gold's the part that matters, and the reason for that is you get it later, which means then it takes longer to get your stacks up. Pretty simple there. These 5 protections, they do hurt, but it's not substantial. This item did need nerfed. It was being built constantly on support solos, jungle pretty often, sometimes ADCs and mids even. So when you see that many being bought, item definitely needs looked at. It was actually, as it said, was nearly it actually was cost efficient with no stacks. That simple. Efficient, effective HP, really OP. Crusher. I actually was super excited when I saw this because I love the Crusher. The Crusher is a unique item that gives the ability base gods that I'm not even going to read these actually. So they increase the attack speed from 15 to 20. I think Crusher is just an overall fun item. That's it. It rewards play like as auto attack canceling, which is really good, and it's that simple. It's like with brawlers being nerfed, maybe this is all it needs to be pushed into the new like main pen item. That would be fun. Like I would really be excited if Crusher started seeing more play. I'm gonna try it. Not sure if it's because this buff is substantial enough, but just because I really enjoy this item, and if it gives me a reason to like play with it, I would love to. Soul Reaver, decreased cost from 2950 to 2750. Why? Okay, so one thing that it looks like they're trying to do, and I like it a lot, is they're trying to make luxury items not so expensive. And even if they're a little OP at the start when that happens, I'm fine with it because right now the cost in builds between different roles is disgusting. If you look at mage builds, they have like, if you were going to build Soul Reaver, like old one, let's say that's 2950, then you would have Rod, which is like 3.3k, then you would have Thoth, which is like 26. Obsidian's like their only cheap items, like 21. Then you have like cooldown boots, pen boots, and then you have like Spear of Death, which is 2650. Like that's disgusting. Like how expensive that is. Then you look at like Assassins and Warrior build. Like, do they even have an item that's over like 2600? I don't think they do. I don't think any assassin builds an item that's over 26. Like Jotun's 2450, Brawlers is like 2500, 2550. You might even build Crusher. Titans is 21. Urchin was like 23. Like just the amount, the cost in builds is like mages are. It's so high for mages. Like I'm happy they're making mage builds cheaper, even if like mages become a little too strong right now, they'll make the items balanced at that point. Ao Kuang, this was a nerf I'm not happy about, but I can understand why. So this makes Ao Kuang easier, is the best way to. Okay, this nerf makes Ao Kuang harder, but the poly effect on Wildstorm made him easier. And the reason for that is you didn't have to blink right on top of them, 2, 3, auto 3, or you would just you would blink 2, be in like a decent range, and then 3. So pretty much you have to be more accurate with your blinks or your ones. Overall, Ao Kuang is honestly probably not nerfed. If played very well, he is not nerfed too hard. If played by a low-level player, this is an immense nerf. I'm a little sad by it, though, because I do enjoy interactions like this. It kind of reminds me of like the Golden Bow Mercury thing. Like specific items to very few characters, I think, is very cool and interesting, and it really helps define the character. I think using items to help define a character's kit is a good thing to do, but I'm not sure if the designers agree with that, and they probably don't, honestly. But I just enjoy interactions like that, where it's like you have an item that's really good on just specific characters. And I wish there was some way to balance that. Whether it was to nerf Poly so you could actually tie it to more characters' kits, because Poly Lakin would add like, what, 300-400 damage? That's a lot of damage. So maybe if it added like maybe only like 100 additional damage and then just had better base stats, they could tie it to more characters' kits, but I understand why they did this. Okay, so this change, if you know me, you probably know I'm a bit salty about. Pretty much their logic is Awilix is too good early game, and she's bad late game. I don't think Awilix is bad late game, I won't lie. I think Awilix's early game is strong, yes. This has to be based off the casual play, considering Awilix was barely picked in SPL in high level play, maybe high ranked play, because there has been a couple people who will just take blink level 1 without thinking about, oh, they have CC. They'll just blink auto to you, and you'll be at like 30-40%. Which I understand, but that's also because of her passive. Her passive does add a lot of damage early game. But getting back to it, I think this change is just bad because it makes you no longer question what you level up. Like, there would be certain times you would level Moonlight Charge. Now you always take Moonlight Charge because it just does more damage. It's that simple. This has 30% more scaling, but 20 less or 10 less power. You'll have like Bluestone, which like adds a little, but not enough, I think. Like, this will always hit 6 creeps if you go to lane. This won't. If this saw 50, these two abilities would be very close in terms of like what you take. So I hope what they do is they change this to 50, 80, what would it be? 50, 85, 120, 150, 180. Like, because once you hit like probably, okay, I would say 150, 115, 85, and like 50, I guess. Something weird. Just like, if you want to nerf it, that's fine, but early game, this is too much of a nerf, and I hope they change something about that. I just want this to be 50, and then just make these numbers line up with these, so this is still 180 final. That's all. Kakolin Rage is scanning. I actually don't know what this one is. Players should find that Kakolin will have more difficult time going berserk in the landing phase, decreasing the ability aggressive level 2. However, players will have an easier time going berserk when fighting enemy gods. Additionally, the shield he gains from berserk is seeing a reduction in strength early on. I think that's a good change. These changes should help players have more room to fight him in the early game. I don't like this change though. And the reason is, it's the only time you can actually do anything as Kakolin early game, because his early game is fucking trash. He can only do anything when he enrages early game. So, yeah. I don't know why they did that. Because now he might just honestly be... If this... I'm presuming this is substantial, by the way. Not small. If this is as substantial as I think it is, it's as simple as this. He might not be able to get picked because he'll be bullied so hard out of the buffs that you just lose that solo side. So, I need to see this. Decreased base shield, that's fine. Like, his enrage was stupid, don't get me wrong. Not how often he enraged, but just the stats he gets when he enrages was stupid. Reduced range gain from every non-guard. I think that's fine. It makes you want to poke, this is probably more rewarding to good players. More rewarding to good players. More rewarding to good players. This is fine. Okay, so this actually isn't too substantial. So I take that back what I said. This probably doesn't matter too much. Though I do like this change. I would say this is overall a good change for him. I should probably go over that. I think this is a bad change for Olix. I think this is a good change if they're trying to make Alkwang weaker at lower level plays, though not sure how much it will affect him in higher level. Erlong has become prime solo lane due to his ability to gain early lane pressure. Mink damage. So they nerfed Mink damage, which is, wow, they nerfed that hard. Wow. Erlong will probably still see play, but that is definitely substantial. Hachiman. Increased base movement speed. Hachiman was a slow fucking hunter, that's simple. Damage reduced from... Really? Damage reduced? Okay, not sure how I feel about that. This is a good change. 18 seconds for an escape. Too long. Mounted archery, damage adjusted. Oh, just rank 2. Okay, that means nothing. Izanami has some big changes. So they're reducing her ability timings. This is a very nice quality of life change. I'm not sure how much it actually changes about her. Could be big, could be small. This is definitely a big change. This, if you were good with Izanami, hitting it every time in the first place, doesn't mean anything. Overall, this god, definitely need to play with her. That is probably the biggest change in terms of you just can't look at it and be like, oh, that breaks her or not. Okay, then we have Raijin. Why was this character buffed? I'm still thinking. So, projectiles now have a radius of 6 at all times, increased from 4.5 at maximum range. They no longer scale in size. Why they did that? Decrease base damage from... Okay, so this is fine. That is overall 20 damage. 20 damage. I would say, yeah, I would say that's good. Because Raijin did have a disgusting level 1, what was it? 140 base? Pretty gross. Projectile speed by about 20%. I would say that's fine, though I don't necessarily agree with it, just because this ability wasn't too hard to hit in the first place, and it's super rewarding when you do hit it. Wow. Players will now be able to move during the warm-up. We're going to see a lot more Raijin. You have no reason to ever miss this now, by the way. Additional support. This is just a good bug fix. Okay, well, that's it for patch notes, guys. See you.